Growing up as a kid, my dad was a hard worker. His point in life was, you control your own destiny. Went into the service, spent 4 years, got out, been in construction trades for a little over 30 plus years. Got promoted up through the ranks. I had full control over everything. My main goal was to chase the dollar, because in my mind, that would solve everything. We had our issues. Money seemed to make most of those complaints go away. Most of my work was home-based. When we had talked about moving to Idaho is when I really started kind of traveling. For 10 plus years, I lived a sinful life, being unfaithful to my wife. We were going to Texas for Christmas. When we got back, that's when the questions started coming out. I avoided, I lied, I got angry, did anything and everything to avoid the conversation.
Our son actually was the one that called me on evidence of what Dan was doing. So I knew the truth, but I wanted him to say it. I had a feeling that something was going on from maybe 2008, but our son was 5, and I didn't want to be a single mom.
March of 23, I actually came home with the intention to talk to her about what was going on. Because the plan was dinner and confession, and I'm in a worldly view of things, so I'm thinking, yeah, I'll confess, but am I going to do a full confession, or am I just going to do this wooer with an expensive dinner? And got to Boise, sent her a text, hey, just landed, no response. Called, no answer, called, no answer, called, no answer. Came home to an empty house. She was gone, dog was gone. Started rifling through drawers, through closets. The more I walked around, the more I got angry. So then, once anger kicked in, I started destroying things. I was like, fine, I'm just not gonna stay here. Started walking back out the door, and Gretna Bennett was coming out the door. Gretna and Justin Bennett are neighbors directly across the street, members of Compass Bible. She says, what's going on? I said, I don't know, Marcy's gone. She looked at me and she goes, I have a feeling I know what's going on. I said, well, you're probably right. She says, hey, do you mind if I reach out to Marcy?
So I answered the call. She, asked me how I was doing, and we set up a time to meet. So then I came here and he confessed to me, and
I kept still responding with, fixing things, because I'm a fixer and stuff. And I remember Justin looked at me and goes, you can't fix this. It was the same weekend. Our neighbors texted us, do you want to go to church? And I wanted to go. Marcy was not ready to go at the time. So I attended the service Sunday that same weekend. I came home and just listened to Pastor Ben. Felt like he was just talking directly to me that day. I was breaking down. I was having a hard time, and of course, still trying to suck it in and be a man about it, according to my father. I remember after the sermon was over, I immediately wanted to just get up out of my chair and get out of there. But Justin had tracked me down, said, hey, I need to introduce you to somebody. That was my first meeting with Pastor Charlie. So he set up a time, and at that meeting, Charlie shared the gospel with me. What I love about Pastor Charlie is his openness and his kindness. He kind of talked about Jesus' life. Jesus came here for you. Jesus lived a sinless life for you. I left there accepting Jesus as my Lord and Savior.
Dan and I would have deep discussions. We were able to really sit down and talk with each other about the Lord and how he was working.
When I seen on the flyer that baptisms was coming up, I was like, I want the world to know. I was working at the church one evening, got a phone call. DJ needed to see me. DJ's our oldest son. So he came in, he looked at me and he says, I screwed up. And I looked at him and said, welcome to the club. But there's a way to make this right. Tim Elwell showed up at the church. Tim sat down and shared the gospel with DJ, and the rest is just God's glory.
So it was that little push of my son coming to Christ and wanting to get baptized. And I'm like, I need to get baptized. Jennifer, his wife, came to Christ that day.
Yes, day of baptisms, our daughter-in-law came to Christ. I struggle still with spiritual leadership. I still have a lot to learn. But Marcy and I, our relationship now has probably been the best it's ever been since we've been married.
It's amazing what God has done.
Yeah, I didn't do it.